Hi everyone, and welcome to Screams After Midnight, the horror movie podcast here in the Meld Fuzz Podcast Network.
Ding ding, school's out for summer and in session for winter.
What?
Something teachers say.
Did summer pass in the middle of that sentence? Is that what happened?
My intros are evergreen, so you can listen to them no matter what time of the year it is. You know, not all everybody is is up on the uptake in this. You know, sometimes word of mouth takes a little bit of spread. People might not find out about it for 3-4 months down the line, and then they come get a little all up in the tunes.
Yeah, this is a horror movie podcast, and we talk about horror movies from the past,
The present.
and the present. And this week we are going to talk about a film that came out a couple of months ago, and that is The Boy.
Yes, finally.
Which is directed by William Brent Bell and stars, I believe, Lauren Cohan? Was it Laura Cohan? Lauren Cohan, I was right the first time.
As the titular boy.
No, as the potential nanny.
Correct.
And
Keeping you on your toes.
Rupert Evans is the other main star of the film. And as always, or at least I say as always, we only started doing this like 3 or 4 episodes ago, but as per 3 or 4 episodes ago, we are going to start off spoiler free, and just so you can see if you like the movie or not, if you want to try and judge if you want to watch it or just sit around for the spoilers.
And this is going to be one you're going to want to watch. And trust me on that.
Well, with that said, Tim, I want to ask you a genuine question. I want you to... So, I mean, you've made it pretty clear you like this film, right?
Yes, sir.
So I want to ask you,
Okay.
man to man,
Okay.
horror fan to horror fan,
Yeah.
civilized individual to fairly civilized individual.
I'm not sure which one of us is which, but okay.
Wait, Tim, I want to ask you a question.
Yes.
I want you to explain... this is not me saying how I feel in any way.
Okay.
But I want you to explain to me, and I want you to explain to the people watching or listening, what do you like about The Boy?
Okay. So, there's a lot of different things. Most of the movie is pretty much a, okay to average to maybe even slightly less, maybe slightly more average movie for about 2/3 of it. Watching it, I was just like, this is okay. This is fine. I think the actors are good. There's a few cheap jump scares that I didn't like, but then holy shit, that third act was so fucking crazy and bonkers. It like blew me away. I could not believe it. I was like, again, you can't really go too much into it, because we're not doing spoilers yet, but it was so bonkers and crazy. I absolutely loved it. Now, am I saying that this is necessarily a good movie? No, not at all. I'm not going to try to say that this is high art or, groundbreaking or anything like that. But for me, what I was expecting, what I got out of it, and kind of the dumb, crazy shit that I like, this delivered on every level. And I was like, you know what? I'm fucking sold. They got me. So we'll go into more in depth on in spoilers, but just the craziness of it was what I loved, basically.
My cats are staring off at each other, almost about to fight, and now they're fighting.
Oh, Jesus.
Cats.
Be gone with you.
Apologies for that, folks. Occasionally, the odd frantic feline may interrupt things.
Yeah, and I'm the uncivilized one.
I never said uncivilized. I said only fairly civilized. What's the difference? Okay. All right. I hear you. However, I could not have been any less interested in this movie as I was watching it.
Oh, fuck you.
And and when we got to the third act that you praised somewhat, a few things came to mind without getting into spoilers. I'd seen it before. Annoyingly, I can't remember the exact movie off the top of my head, but I seen this exact thing in a movie like a year ago, maybe 2 years ago.
Well, once we go into spoilers, I'm going to tell you what 2 movies this is.
Okay.
And I think maybe I think you'll agree with me.
Right. No, that's not to say that if just because I've seen something done before doesn't mean it's still worth watching, but I wasn't really that impressed, honestly. And even if I did like the last 20-30 minutes, that first hour is so tedious to get through that I wouldn't even care.
I disagree. And I think
I should probably explain the main premise of the movie for people who haven't seen it, and we're in non-spoiler territory, so I should. So, American woman is hired to come and be a nanny by this rich English couple who live in this big country house out in the middle of nowhere to look after their son Bram. But when she gets there, she finds out that it's actually a
Brahms.
Bram. Yeah, I said Bram. What did
you said Bram.
Bram.
Brahms.
Oh, I don't care. What difference does it make?
Your opinion is obviously invalidated because you can't even remember anything about it.
It's a stupid name, all right. Bram.
Like right. Petter's that better?
Shut off. Right. So it turns out that Brahm's actually a porcelain doll, right? That's what he is. And the parents appear to be grieving for their long dead son, and they treat this porcelain doll as if it's actually a kid. It's on a schedule. They have to put it to bed. They have to play music at a certain time, feed it, so on, blah 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 blah. Whole thing. She, of course, is taken aback by this.
But like, what?
Yeah, but ultimately she takes the job because they're paying very well and it seems like an easy gig. And
she has a troubled past she's trying to escape from.
There's a bit of backstory that lets you know she's in need for said money and to be
so many layers
away from the country. I don't know if layers is the word that I would use, but the cats are still fighting. Stop it! Right the fuck now, stop it. Garrus, leave your brother alone. Seriously. It's a creepy doll movie. There's, is the doll moving when they're not looking? Is this happening? Is that happening? That's the movie, right? My problem with a lot of the first half of this movie, or its first 2/3 or whatever, is that I think the entire premise is fucking stupid. And admittedly, I thought it was stupid in the trailer. I was hoping the movie would do something to convince me of this premise, but honestly, even though we do get a reason for why she does stick around, I can't believe for a second that any person in their right mind sees that they're going to be nannying a doll for months and doesn't immediately just back the fuck out of that house.
Are you serious? That's an extremely dumb complaint. Do you know, the dumb shit that rich people do? Old ladies leave their, fortunes to their cats, and, they'll have a whole tiny little villages set up for, I don't know, their hamster or something. Rich people are fucking crazy. They'll do anything. I don't think that's at all out of the realm of possibility that someone would do this. They're fucking people marry action figures and dolls in the world. That is a real thing that happens.
Yeah, and they're fucking batshit. But this is the point, though. I'm not questioning the insanity of the rich people. I'm questioning the actions of her, the main character. What's her name? Greta. Right.
I would fucking do that. If some rich person would offer me a bunch of money to look after a doll, I would do that. That's easy money. Why would you not do that?
Maybe. Okay, fine. But the problem is I still think the premise is stupid because the entire first half of the movie is her going about the house, the doll sitting there. Is the doll moving? Is it not? Is creepy things happening? Of course creepy things are happening because it's a fucking horror movie. Something has to happen at some point, right? So
your complaint is that creepy stuff is happening in a horror movie. Awesome. That's a valid complaint. I can see that.
No. My complaint is that for the first hour of this movie, it feels that almost nothing happens.
I disagree. I mean, you know get the introduction of the premise, and you find out about Greta a little bit by a little bit, and then there's some creepy stuff that's like sprinkled here
No,
and
okay,
there.
let me rephrase that. Nothing intriguing or interesting happens.
Well, I mean that's on you then, because I was intrigued the whole time. I was never bored at any point during this movie.
I was bored. I watched this in two halves because I got to about 55 minutes in and said, you know what? I fancy some sleep.
Okay,
I went
well,
to sleep.
I mean you're just a shitty person. That doesn't reflect on the movie.
No,
I mean, God
it
forbid a
does.
dude who reviews horror movies should have to sit through a horror movie.
Hey, I still sat through it. Just because I did it in two halves doesn't mean I didn't sit through it. Look,
Yeah.
look.
Like all those times, like Roger Ebert would just walk out halfway through a movie and be like, yeah, I'll watch the rest of it later.
Are you telling me in his career he never did that?
Maybe once or twice, but definitely not. Definitely during a shitty movie, though.
Which this is.
No, 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 no.
Tim, this movie is at best mediocre. At best.
I disagree, man. I really like it. I think this is a really good movie. And if anyone hasn't seen it yet and they're on the fence, I'd say don't listen to this cynical asshole. Instead, especially if you like horror, you should give it a shot. And I think it'll actually surprise you.
I mean, the doll is kind of creepy, but he's creepy in a really kind of annoying way. Like when I'm not really creeped out by him, and like, oh my god, what is he going to do? But I'm not looking. I'm just kind of like, oh, he looks like a little shit. Like, I don't know. Nothing about this movie worked for me. I just didn't care about any of it. I didn't think she was that interesting. I didn't think.
I don't know. I liked her, but I will admit I've actually always liked her. Like I've seen her in a few other things.
Yeah,
she's in some.
She was in Chuck. She's in The Walking Dead, which is what a lot of people know from.
She's in early episodes of Supernatural, which I don't know. I think she was like maybe like second, third season.
I've seen that, but I mean it's been so long that
I don't know if you remember there was like they used to have like a rival that was like a thief kind of, but
vaguely.
Really early on.
Also, you might have recently seen her play a small part in Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, the hit film.
But I don't know. I enjoy her. I think she's a good actress. I think.
I wasn't saying she was a bad actress.
Right? No, I gotcha. But you don't like the character.
No, I think the script is just kind of like there's certain elements of this story that I could see being done well. I actually think I would take out. Well, I can't really say that without getting spoilers. So I think we'll end the spoiler-free section because I don't know how much more I can get into without tearing it to shreds with spoilers. So here endeth the spoiler-free section of the review. Tim obviously gives it a fairly not a high recommendation, but you'd recommend it.
Yeah, I'd recommend it. It's I mean, again, kind of playing it up a little bit for the podcast and everything, but in all honesty, I really really do enjoy it. Actually, I bought the Blu-ray.
Oh my god, Tim, don't support this.
What? No, why not gonna support something that I like, you fucking asshole. I want Boy 2, all right, and that's
fuck off.
I'm not gonna,
Fuck right
it's
off.
not gonna happen unless
No.
I really beat the drums.
No, Boy 2 Electric Boogaloo? No.
Yeah.
I want none of it.
Boy 2, Boy 2 colon the man.
Boy 2, Boy Harder. No, wait, that's wrong. That's wrong. Let's not make a movie called that. Right. So
definitely. I would say give it a shot. Maybe if you're on the fence, maybe wait to either Redbox it, or I'm sure it'll be streaming at some point. If you're really not sure.
No, it's already VOD and streaming and all that.
But I mean, like on Netflix, where it's like
But
something
it's
you don't
easy, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
yes, but it's not rentals, yeah.
But no, it's again, it's not high art. It's not groundbreaking. It's not like overly stylistic, like some of the other movies we've praised on here. But I do, honestly, in my heart of hearts, I do think that this is a completely enjoyable movie.
Well, here's where the audience decides which one of us they trust more. Because I'm going to give them a differing opinion here. I'm going to say this movie is not worth your time, and you should stick around and listen to the spoilers, even if you've not seen it, because it'll be more enjoyable than watching the actual movie. So,
horror fan telling people not to watch a horror movie.
I'm telling them not to watch a bad horror movie. There's a difference. And Tim,
you tell them to watch like Blood Boner and shit.
Blood Boner? I don't remember Blood Boner. I mean, I'd fucking watch it, but I don't remember. Right. Also, let me remind you that this did come out in January, and horror movies released in January are bad, typically speaking. I'm not saying it's never happened where there's been a good one, but typically they're bad. That's where they dump the shit, because they know it's bad.
I did watch this right after The Force, like 2 days after.
Which may have clouded your judgment. Like, I think after The Forest, this probably felt a lot better than it actually was.
Not gonna lie, that might be a bit part of it.
No, don't get me wrong. I will say this: it's a better movie than The Forest.
Yeah,
I'll give you that. And
it's not hard, but it is true.
You know what? Now the cat that was fighting is now meowing at the door to get out. After meowing at the door on the other side to get in before we started recording, he is really getting on my nerves tonight. He's determined to ruin this podcast with every fibre of his little cat body. Listen to him.
Oh.
Listen to him. You want to shut the fuck up?
Yeah.
Alright, the cat's been dealt with. So,
Jesus, Pete, you didn't have to murder your cat, you know? That's it.
Yeah, that's really ominous.
I admire your dedication to the podcast, but...
So, full spoilers from this point on. You've been warned, full spoilers. Not that you should care, but full spoilers.
Should care.
So, the twist in this movie... We'll start there, but we'll probably touch on a couple of things that is before this as well, but the twist in this movie, after an hour of is the doll doing creepy things behind their backs, and so on, and then she eventually believes that, and she starts treating it like the parents did. There's a whole section in the middle of the movie that was like that, and I thought she started believing things far too quickly. I thought this was ridiculous. But the twist in the movie, after her ex-boyfriend shows up, and that's part of her backstory, which I'm sure we'll get into that delightful little story. But the twist is that the doll's not alive at all. That there's no ghost here. It's the fact that whenever they're not around, the grown-up version of the young boy who was meant to have died comes out of the walls and does shit.
Actually, you're wrong. That's not the twist.
What?
The twist is because I think pretty much anyone, like, about halfway through or 3/4 of the way through could see that coming. What the twist is that the guy that's living in the walls is basically Jason. The boy is Jason Voorhees. He's like gigantic, wearing like a creepy mask, just like this powerhouse stalking these guys.
He's also wearing a really, really cozy looking cardigan, which, by the way, takes all the creepiness out of him completely. But no, it is a twist. Whether or not you could see it coming is another matter, but it is a twist. It reminded me a lot of a movie I saw a few years ago, and I can't really say it without spoiling it, but it was another like January, February horror movie. It came out in like 2010, 2011. And I don't want to spoil it because we're not on spoilers for that movie, but the twist was the exact same. It was meant to be supernatural, and then it turned out, oh no, there's just someone hiding in the house.
I'm wondering if I saw that.
I'll tell you what it is after we're done recording, Tim, so you know for sure.
The movies that I was thinking of that it reminded me of is that it's basically Hider in the House meets Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th, okay, I can see why you're making comparisons to that, just because he's kind of like Jason. Hide in the House, not that Friday the 13th isn't, by the way, I'm not saying that isn't, but Hide in the House is a better movie than this.
Oh no, that movie sucked.
Hide in the House had Gary Busey acting crazy, that had camp, that had entertainment value. This movie's not entertaining.
I disagree. I thought it was, especially at the end when the boy, which I do hope that's like the horror movie icon name that he gets.
Hey, Tim, to have an icon, to be iconic, he'd actually have to be remembered in a year's time, which, by the way, he will not be.
We'll see. We'll see.
No, garbage.
No, we'll see. And then, yeah. But when the what the hell is the point I was making? You got me all kerfuffled with your nonsense. But
excellent. My plan worked.
But oh yeah, I was just saying, like the last act or whatever, when he comes out of the wall, and then it just turns into like super camp for me, and that's what just made me also giddy and absolutely in love with this movie, because it is to me it was like so out of nowhere. Like again, I was getting like little suspicions that like there was an actual person that was alive. At first I thought it was the Rupert Evans character, possibly, because they mentioned something like, oh, like he would have been about your age now.
Yeah, that line really stuck out to me as well.
It was weird. I don't know why that included.
Because I thought the twist maybe it was him. You know.
Yeah, I was thinking
where it felt like it was going at one point, but
yeah.
No, see, I mean, I agree that the last act is at least more entertaining than the rest of it, but
it's like as soon as the boyfriend shows up, which was so crazy. like that was, I wouldn't even say that was crazy. That whole... just like the fact he's so over the top. He's like this like giant wrestler, like uber asshole. Like he give me shit for this, but it kind of remind me of the husband in Sinister 2, just like how over the top like, you know, shitty he was. Like you just instantly like, okay, I hate this guy, I get it. You like I don't know.
He just felt like such a really shitty bit of writing to me. Partly because he was over the top, but also as soon as he showed up, it was like, okay, he's only here because we need to have the villain kill someone. Yeah. And we can't have him kill one of the two main characters, at least not right away. There has to be a chance that they'll survive. So who do you show him killing at the start? It has to be someone who's kind of expendable. So he shows up. And he is just over the top and ridiculous.
Like he starts like freaking out at the boy, like he's just like swinging the doll around.
The reactions to him smashing the doll are comical. The shock in their faces was almost making me laugh. And then I'll admit the grown-up version of the boy coming out with the mask on is probably the coolest moment in the movie, but I think everything after it completely squanders it.
Like it's so like crazy. Like it's not like he just like comes out of the wall. Like the whole house starts like shaking as if he's like this godlike being or something that they've like angered, and he like bursts through the mirror. Like I don't know, just at this point I was just like, are you fucking kidding me? Like I did not see this coming.
Tim, they squander the whole thing. The chase sequence that happens afterwards is just really dull and generic. And the moment, see when she like gets out of the house and she's left Malcolm back there knocked out and she decides to go back, see that moment, it's one of the most like timid like, oh shit, I have to go back and save them and not just save myself moments I've ever seen, because she doesn't even pause for a moment. She just kind of stops and turns around. It's really weird. Like the directing is just like, I don't know what he was thinking when he was directing that scene. Like the way he told her to turn around and like like how to play that out, it just felt so weird. And just like it was almost like she stopped and remembered, oh yeah, the script says I need to go back, and then she turns around.
Well, I mean, like, you know, you have all that adrenaline. You're trying to run, like, for your life, and then he screams after her, like, come back or I'll kill him. And then it takes a minute for that to sink in and be like, fuck, like, well, she's probably giving herself time to think, like, what the fuck do I do? Do I get help? Do I get the police? And then she's like, oh, wait, no, I have this idea. I know what to do. Now I can go back and save the day. That's what it was.
Yeah, and all we get when she goes back is a little bit of role playing, and then it quickly just turns into them stabbing each other, and that's pretty much it. That's the end of the movie. It's a whimper. Yeah. Nothing exciting happens.
Are you talking about like people fighting and big creepy dudes in masks?
But the fight's not exciting. Cool. This is the problem I have with this. This is actually a really cool concept. See if they'd revealed this earlier on in the film and had them trapped in the house with him, and he like knows all the ins and outs of like going behind the walls and all the secret ways and all that. This could have been a really cool, creepy, trapped in a house movie with a killer. But as it was, most of the movie spent like teasing that there might be a supernatural thing going on, and you know, I've seen it done better. I mean, seen it done just as bad. I mean, Annabelle was just as bad, if not worse, than this movie. But no, Tim, I really, but this is baffling me. Your positivity on this is baffling me. Even people I know who like everything that they see, like every piece of crap that gets shoved in front of them, even they don't like this movie.
Well, those people are idiots. That's, and I can explain that. They're idiots.
And you, oh my god, this is,
it's so much fun. I absolutely adore it.
And you were bad-mouthing The Last of Us earlier this week, so me and you, Tim, right now are just not in a good place. Our relationship's in jeopardy. That's all I'm saying.
We'll see. I mean, come back next week, see if we're still doing this.
See if there's an episode next week, or otherwise we broke up.
I don't know, man. It's I don't know. Maybe I can't explain it, why I like. Sometimes you just like stuff, you know. I liked it. I had a lot of fun.
Oh god! And then
when you get this like full grown. This dude is giant, a gigantic man. This creepy mask, and he's still talking like a little boy. It's like, yeah, Greta, well, pretty Greta. It's like, oh man, that's creepy as shit.
The mask was alright. Like, yeah, the mask was creepy. See, if it had just been a regular slasher movie with him as the killer, I'd have been way more down with it. But
you know what I think the problem is?
What's that?
I think you gotta go back and watch it again.
Fuck you.
Now go back and watch it, knowing that there's a dude in the walls, and then you'll get like this extra little bit of creepy, like, oh shit, he was the one that made the call, and shit, he was the one that closed the attic door, and he was the one that made the peanut butter sandwich. Then you'd be like, oh fuck, there's an extra layer to it that I didn't even realize. You'll like it a lot more.
Tim, this is not a film that has layers. There's no layers in this film.
All right, well, agree to disagree. It's a civilized way.
Oh god. What else? I don't know.
The one thing, the one complaint I do have, which I will, the one thing I can't account for, is there was a couple of really, really dumb jump scares that pissed me off.
Oh yeah, that's pissed me off. They did the fake fake dream jump twice.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna try to defend that. I can't pretend that was good. That
again, like Joe said, it felt like the first hour had nothing happen. That was kind of part of the problem, where it felt like nothing was happening, and then the 2 or 3 scares that did happen were just these fake jump like dream sequences.
The worst thing about him, like, if you did it once, whatever, fine, let it go. But the fact that they did it twice was like kind of unforgivable.
Yeah, it felt like, oh, we need to try and pad this with actual like horror movie things.
Yeah.
You know, like, and it just, I don't know. I was really just uninterested throughout most of it. I really tried to get into it. I really did. I turned the lights out. I watched it, and like, it was basically the moment where she sees the doll and she lets out a laugh. I did too, and then she went along with it. And I'm like, no. And from that point on,
I don't know. I think you try to talk and sound cool, but I think you would have done the exact same thing in the situation. I think if someone offered you a lot of money to watch a doll, and you'd think, all right, they're probably weird eccentrics. It's easy money. I'll do it. Then if weird stuff started happening, if the doll started calling you, if the doll started moving, if the doll made you a sandwich, I don't know, I think you would probably start to believe.
You know what I think the problem is, though, is I think without the humour that Chucky has, I think the whole possessed doll thing is just not that good. At least for a full movie. I think Annabelle worked in The Conjuring on its own little segment. As a full movie, that thing fell apart. Admittedly, they didn't even focus on the idea of the doll being possessed. They just did other things, but, you know.
Yeah, I think that's... I'll actually agree with that because I can't really think of too many evil doll movies I like. Like I do like the Child's Play movies to an extent, but yeah, those are maybe a little more camp than full on horror. But that's why I like at the end. It's like, oh, it's not a doll. It's this crazy wall dude.
But it doesn't even matter though, because it's that for an hour of the movie. I mean, it turns out that it's not that, but that's how the movie's portrayed for an hour. That's what you have to sit through. You go watch. I mean, not all the Chucky movies are good. I mean, there's definitely good and bad in that series, but like when they were good, Chucky had a character because it was a guy who was trapped in this thing. And I know that's not as creepy as like, oh, is it happening? Is it not happening? But I don't know. There's something about the whole doll thing that just doesn't really work that well for me. At least not for a full movie. And I just wasn't.
Because you have too many dolls and you don't want to be scared of them. Like, oh, my dolls would never do that.
Oh dear.
Do
you know what I think it is? I think
haven't said no.
I think it's 'cause it's small. I have the same problem, see, with like animal movies where it's like a regular sized dog or cat that's meant to be evil. I just don't care. Like, I don't buy it. I can take on the dog. It's fine.
Are there that many of those movies?
Well, not that many, but like Cujo was shit. Like, have you seen Cujo?
Well, Cujo was like a giant Saint Bernard.
He wasn't that big. He's not big enough that I can't take him in a fight, right?
You versus Cujo. I'm gonna give my money to Cujo.
No, you watch that movie and it's stupid. I don't believe for a set. Like, seriously, one good knife. All you need.
Yeah, but
right?
Do they have a knife though?
Well, they don't.
You can say that about anything. Be like, yeah, I mean, if I had a gun, it's like, well, yeah, obviously.
No, but I'm saying specifically about these things that are just not big enough to be that threatening. And don't get me wrong, there's definitely horror to be had when you've got a sleeker killer. But even when you've got a sleeker killer, they still need to be an adult or at least a teenager before I'm like concerned. I don't know. There's something about this in a movie where I just don't buy that this stupid doll's a threat, unless it does the Annabelle thing where it has all these other demonic things happening, and that just makes it not that interesting because it's just. It'd be fine if it was well made, but it wasn't. It was shit. So, this I don't get why you like this, Tim. I really don't.
I think it's pretty good. It's like how crazy it is. I like the actors. I like the atmosphere. I like old creepy houses in the middle of the woods.
See, that's the thing. That's the biggest sin of this movie, actually, is that despite this fantastic house and this great location, I don't think there is any atmosphere.
I disagree with that.
I watched this and I didn't feel any atmosphere whatsoever. I think, I don't know if, I guess it was the directing, but it just completely sucked all the atmosphere out of the movie for me.
I know you're not dissing my boy William Clark Gable.
William Clark Gable, that's who you're going with.
Whoever directed this. William Kristen Bell, what was it?
Kristen Bell. Oh dear. Like, I don't know if we have much more. It's not even we can have a serious chat about the themes of the film. There's not really much more to go into.
Yeah, the themes were growing up. It was it's basically the horror take on a coming of age movie.
No, if anything, Tim, it'd be a horror take on dealing with the loss of a child. That's what it really is.
Yeah, that too. It's a story about a doll who wanted to be a man who became a boy and the lives that he ruined.
Oh my.
And you can quote me on that.
To sum it up, people, I would say this is a movie that feels like it was released in January, and surprise, surprise, it was released in January. And it's forgettable. I do not recommend checking it out at all.
I highly recommend it, especially if you like stuff that has really batshit bonkers endings.
See, I like that stuff. I just didn't think that was. I don't think this was that batshit. I think you're overselling this.
I think it's pretty batshit, man. I was in the theater. I was like, what?
Again, seen it before, and I'll tell you exactly what movie it was. I don't want to spoil it because it's like, again, it's the third act twist in another movie, so
Okay.
I can't say it without spoiling the movie. So I'm going to leave it be. So let's get to ratings. I guess we're at ratings because what the fuck else are we going to talk about? I mean, we can't go through this one scene for scene like we do some of the other movies because nothing fucking happens for an hour. Like, she's going on a date, then she's not going on a date. The dress gets stolen. Oh dear, she gets trapped in an attic all night. Doesn't think that's weird. Oh.
She thought it was weird. That's why she had the guy come over and check everything out the next day.
Whatever. Well.
I don't even think you watched this movie, man.
Look,
I think you put it on and then like you looked at your cats for a bit and then I fell asleep.
I give this my attention. Because I always do with it. I mean, there's some horror movies that I'll put on and I won't give that much attention. But when I'm reviewing it on this show, I give it my attention because I need to come in here and talk about it for at least half an hour. And I come in here with it all in my head.
All right, so you say.
And nothing fucking happened for an hour.
I mean, I guess that's one way of saying something wrong.
There's a nice scene of them playing pool. And she's like, oh, what do people in town say about little Brom? And oh, God. I'm sorry, I did not like this at all. This was shit. So let's get to ratings. That's how many Mama's Boys out of 10 are we giving? So I'm gonna let you go first. What would you rate this out of 10, Timmy?
Again, man, I really enjoyed it. I'm gonna give this a big old fat 8. Give a big old 8 out of 10 for this baby.
You cannot be fucking serious.
Yeah, dude.
8.
Yeah.
8. Even shitty slasher movies that I love, I sometimes don't give more than a 6 because my head's in the right place. 8 out of 10 for this. This is higher than you rated The Fucking Haunting. You are off your rocker. Jesus Christ, Tim.
Haunting is hella boring.
I can't even. Well, you know what, Tim?
History will be on my side.
No, it's not. No one's going to remember this movie in a couple of years' time. You're going to be like, oh, did you see The Boy? And we're going to be like, what the fuck was The Boy, Tim? Right? I'm not even going to remember it. I'm going to expunge this from my brain.
Well, I hope they forget about it so I can buy the rights and complete the trilogy.
Oh, so you're assuming the sequels happened already, and you're going to make The Boy 3
Yeah.
with a vengeance. The Boy with a Vengeance. Oh, that's not actually that bad. Then it'll be Live Free or Boy Hard.
Yeah.
And then a good datey Boy Hard. No, it's never a good datey Boy Hard. I'm giving
Boy
it a
2 Lost in New York.
yeah, I'm giving it a 4 out of 10, Tim.
Alright.
4 out of 10.
Opinion.
Shit. Not the worst thing ever, but shit. Before we get to the wrap-ups, though, I actually do want to discuss a little bit of news.
Okay.
I don't know if you heard about this yet, Tim, but you did because I posted it in the group and you commented on it. But
I don't know if you heard about this thing that I tagged you on and then had a conversation with you about it.
But however, it was announced just yesterday that Blumhouse, favorite Blumhouse, who had nothing to do with this movie, by the way. I was shocked because they make every horror movie that comes out now. Shocked.
Maybe they might have made it and just forgot.
just forgot to put the logo at the start. Yeah. But so Blumhouse is teaming up with Miramax, who own the rights, and John Carpenter to bring back Halloween. And Carpenter's going to be exec producing and guiding whoever the new director is. So that's interesting enough on its own right. But he also might be scoring the film. He might be doing the music.
That's really what the hell was I gonna say? Appetizing.
Appetizing. Yeah. It's appetizing. It's exciting. It's
appealing. I think I meant.
Appealing. Yes, it's encouraging. It's it floats my boat, I guess, is another way of saying it. And
it carves your pumpkin.
there was a great bit. I can't remember what website it was on, but there was a great bit in the article about the news story that quoted Carpenter's thoughts on Michael Myers, specifically kind of like criticizing the remake, and like the words were like exactly like out of my brain. It was like phenomenal. He's like, Michael Myers, he's not a character. He's a force of nature.
Yeah.
You know, and that's exactly it. That's exactly what. It's not the only thing that's wrong with those shitty remakes, but it's the big thing. It's the big thing in the middle that's just flat out wrong. So, no, exciting stuff. So,
yeah, that's great. It's I don't know. It's I mean, it's hard to tell, like, with these news stories, like, you know, you don't want to get like too excited right away, but
yeah,
I mean,
it could still end up sucking, and it could, you know, it could take a long time. Although that said, these movies tend to be quite quick to make, so it wouldn't surprise me if we see this for Halloween 2017. You know,
and that was another thing I thought was pretty cool in the article. Like, I think they mentioned something about like how they're going to keep the budget low and they don't want to do anything over. I think they said like 15 million because
yeah.
then studios would start to interfere or something. But
Yeah, they said we're going to keep the budget low so that the director and the creative team has freedom to make the movie they want to make, and that's really encouraging. It's really exciting. And I said that, you know, who knows, maybe this will be the Fury Road of horror movies. And
that would be really awesome.
Yeah, if it ends up giving us that feeling. So that'd be really cool. So here's hoping.
Yeah.
Here's hoping for the best.
Yeah.
Admittedly, the only Halloween movie you need in your life is the original that was directed in 1978. That's all you need. But I'll happily take some good sequels if they can give them to me.
Yeah.
So
there's a handful of them that I think are pretty good. I keep, every time I go to the store, I see that big, beautiful Blu-ray box set, and so tempting.
let us know what you think of The Boy. Tell Tim he's wrong by tweeting at us at mild_fuzz, or, you know, emailing us mildfuzz@gmail.com. If you're on YouTube, of course, you can just let us know in the comments below what you think of the movie. But that's us, guys. So we'll see you next time. Keep watching scary movies and watch something better than The Boy.
Or watch The Boy.
Or something better than The Boy.
Or you can just watch The Boy.
Don't watch The Boy.
But also watch it.
But don't.
But maybe do.
No, definitely don't.